Yes, okay, mine's working.
I guess you did a little test stream earlier today.
Yeah, but it's also up and running now, which is good.
Yeah. I guess you did a little test stream earlier today.
Alright, that's good. My POV doesn't have anyone echoing, which is good. So that just kind of cancelled out what happened.
Yeah, I don't have much of an echo on my end, I don't think.
Yeah, it's well, is your mic that is echoing, but on your stream, my mic will be echoing a lot. Like my voice will genuinely echo.
No, it's sounded pretty good on my end, so.
Yeah, yeah, I know yours will be fine, but when
Mm,
I was rewatching streams, my voice would echo. But on my stream
yeah,
right now, none of them are echoing, which is good.
yeah.
Let me find out which one is my one. Okay, my one's the second one. Alright, it's probably up. Both streams are up. Now we're just waiting for obviously more drivers, cause only 13.
Yeah.
Charlie says he's got an issue with his game.
Mm.
Oh, it is Charlie. I'll be right back.
Yeah.
18 people in the... Alright, we're almost ready to go. Alright, we're readying up.
Yeah.
So I'm missing 2 drivers. Which 2 cars is it going to be? An Aston Martin and Alfa Romeo. Okay. I'll do intro when it is starting to load us into the actual race. Hello everyone and welcome back to Pro Am Formula Racing, where tonight is round 3 in season 4 of the top division. The circuit we will be racing as the Portimao circuit, situated in Portugal. The circuit has 15 corners, 11 to the right and 4 to the left. Known for many ups and downs and usually referred to as a roller coaster experience. Drivers will have to be careful when laying down power to make sure they don't spin out, especially up the uphill right-hander of turn 8, where many drivers could be caught out today. To join me in the commentary booth, as always, is Labyrinth. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you doing yourself?
Yeah, great, and happy to be back for another week of racing here. Yeah, it was very interesting in Imola. A lot of crashes up the top again, many being Ananas, who isn't racing tonight, and I don't think will be taking part in Div 1 anymore. And there were just collisions galore. Many people being spun out. Kavudi and Ananas, they had a collision going into the hairpin kind of, and then Pantera got caught out in that as well, who actually went on to win his 2nd in a row. So Pantera on a roll. Could he maybe do it again tonight?
Yeah, Imola was definitely a track that had quite a lot of controversy.
That's a light way to put it.
Yeah, that is, I think. This is a very interesting track because it's not one that I've actually raced on myself yet. So,
Oh, really?
from when I first saw the picture of it on our Discord, it almost thought it looked like a copy and paste of a Spain circuit.
Yeah, definitely. It does resemble it, especially in the overhead layout. But definitely not the same when it comes to the up and downs. As we're running on board with Gabri, who's a reserve for tonight. This turn 8, it's an uphill, and on the exit, very easy to spin from, especially from my time running it. I think I spun in the Thursday division of PAFR earlier this week. Yeah, it's very easy to spin out, very easy through many of the corners. A lot of the acceleration points are uphill, so extremely easy to get caught out mid-corner. But as I said, we've got Gabri coming out for the first lap in the Ferrari reserve, so he's making sure he can prove something, maybe cement a permanent seat in Division 1. He's coming around the first couple of corners. It's interesting, the turn 1, it's very easy to run wide, yet people, even though they know how easy it is to run wide and you need to brake, the feeling of the corner, it makes you just want to accelerate more. And I've definitely validated quite a few laps just wanting to accelerate more than what I probably should, and more than what everyone really should, really. But he's coming through the hairpin now of turn 5. Another easy one to spin out if you aren't careful. You want to exit on in third gear, maybe short shift up to 4th. He goes through turn 8 pretty well, luckily. No spins already. I'm just going to keep an eye on the minimap just in case something does happen. A lot of people close together, especially these Alpha Tauris, Cool Guy and Havina. And he gets a little wayward through that left-hander, the back end's kind of sliding out. He holds it, and through the final couple corners, the last braking zone, before the end of the lap, This is the final corner. It's a very long right-hander, almost 90 degrees in full. Coming up to the line, he's going to set a 1:17.7, an actual pretty good lap time for a banker. But as we've seen multiple times, and that's Jay's in the wall. I've just switched to his POV. Jay's P2, he's in the wall. Luckily, he hasn't DNF'd, but he has broken his wing, and that's the medium tires probably already gone from him, which maybe was the preferred strategy. So starting on the mediums, going to hards, but so that's very unlucky for him. Racing up to in the now McLaren. Oh wait, no, never mind, I'm getting confused with Division AU, which he races in Haas, which I was very confused for a second. He's in the McLaren. He sets the fastest, did set the fastest lap until Nux, the 1:16.9. In the Alpine goes fastest, number 19 car, Nux. He's 4 or 5 in the standings right now.
And Cool Guy is disqualified for being the wrong way round.
Cool Guy. That is very unfortunate from him. It has been, I've seen it many times before. They just try to flick around and maybe go that little bit too much backwards. But, so very unfortunate for him. He will be starting from P18.
Atom Kiva's at the new fastest lap time as well with a 1:16.6.
Yeah, good job from him. He came P2 last race. Very good race from him. He pretty much came from nowhere in the end. It was kind of Cool Guy and Jay's just leading the main pack, which was following Pantera, who was about 13 seconds ahead after what really was a strategy genius, pitting for hards underneath the first safety car and just going to the end and having a massive gap while the others just tried to scramble for positions, trying to catch up at the same time. So yeah, Kev, he ended up passing everyone through that train and ended up coming P2, so that puts him second in the standings now. And Nux, as I was saying, he's P6 after I think an earlier podium in Bahrain. He came P3 behind Felix and Pantera. So he's definitely one of the top guys, as well as Jace, Felix, and Dre, also known as Cool Guy, who's actually been disqualified, as we said before. Kev and Pantera, who's won both of the last races and is leading on 30 points. As we talk about Pantera, he's starting his lap now. The number 88, Haas, is coming through turn 1 now. He doesn't use as probably much room as he can, but he does stay within those white lines. And coming through turn 4 now, another very easy place to either spin out or just lose. He sets purple first sector, so very good from him so far. It's looking like a solid start to the lap. Got a yellow flag around sector 3. I think that's just the car going slowly. Now to turn 8. Very, very easy on the throttle mid corner, which is when people start to accelerate halfway, but he wants to make sure he doesn't spin. Now to the downhill right-hander. Switching back to the left of turn 12. Now through turn 13, you want to short shift up to 4th as he does there, and turn 14, the last braking zone of the lap, coming round the final corner now. There's an Alfa Romeo up ahead. He will not get in the way. That's Charlie coming into the pits. Takes a middle line for the end. It's going to be a 1:16.7. That's good enough for P2, just ahead of Nux and behind Kev. So pretty good lap from him. About half a second, if not maybe a little bit more, behind Kev for that first run provisional pole position. So good from
it's a great time there by Pantera.
Yeah, definitely just showing his consistency. I believe he got pole last race. Oh wait, no he didn't, sorry, that was Ananas. He actually hasn't got pole yet. So very interesting for him. He's won both races through amazing patience and amazing racecraft in general. And Jay's actually sets the fastest lap on soft compound tires after coming in to change his wing. 1:16.4 is the new banker for the provisional pole. If you want to go pole, you have to beat that, obviously. Cool guy just in the chat saying that he spun around and got disqualified. So, again, very unlucky from him, and sad to not see him up the top where he probably belongs. But we'll see how he can do in the race, see if he can make his way through the field. Magnum Gelato, or Gelato, one of the two, in 5th now. The probably flown a bit under the radar, maybe. I'm going to have a look if he has, unless, I think he's actually a reserve. He's definitely a familiar name of last season, only reserving now. So he's going to also want to see what he can do to kind of settle that seat, because I'm pretty sure he will want to be racing full time. He's on a lap right now. He's coming to the end of Sector 2. Let's see what he has through the splits. He's going to be down by a 10th, so unless he has a stellar last sector, it will remain P5 for him. We're just going to follow him for the rest of the lap, and he backs off. So that's the end. Atom Kev now goes pole with a 16.399. So only 800ths faster than Jay's. We got TSW Freestyler in P6. He's on a lap as well. He's just coming through the middle sector now, coming to turn 8, which surprisingly for me at least, I haven't seen anyone spin through here. So very good discipline on throttle for all these drivers, showing why they should be in Div 1 and why they are racing in Div 1 tonight. Coming to the end of Sector 2, and he actually goes a bit wide and invalidates, even though he was half a 10th up on his lap. That'll be the end of that run. He'll probably come into the pits for another set of tyres. He's going to get out of the way for one of the Alpines behind it, Nux, because that's now just ruined his run out the final corner. If he did want to set another lap time, he could still theoretically go for it, but we have Nux on his second lap. Let's see what he can do. He goes into P3, so just ahead of Pantera, who could probably improve a lot more. So is most of the other people in this top 10. Separated a bit more than what I thought it would have been. Vertex just goes P6 there, and same with racing up to into P5. So yeah, a gap of about 1 second to the top 10, so maybe not as close as what it could be, but you never know. Towards the end it could all close up and there could be about half a tenth in that. And we've got 3 people yet to set a time yet. Kavudi, who has shown his pace before. He was up there in Imola, and in Division AU he has one race in Imola, and he came P3 in the Portugal race. Next across the line to set a lap time. He hasn't invalidated. Short run to the line. It's a 16.8, so that puts him P6. Very good lap from him. And the other person that hadn't set a lap time at that moment was Iron Apple, who goes P12 with a 1:17.4. For someone that was a reserve last race, he definitely showed pace before getting in an incident yet again with New Jersey. Yeah, so he got very unlucky there. He was on for a podium, I would say, as we actually just saw Felix 1 join the session. I don't know if he'll be able to get in a car and go around, or if he'll have to wait to the race to start competing. In fact, he will start P19 if that is the case.
Yeah, just going back to Iron Apple and the race that he had at Imola last weekend, he was I feel he was definitely a year on for a podium as well. It's just a shame the collision that happened.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously he had the move done. From my memory, he had the move done going into turn one, and just New Jersey probably outbraked himself a little bit and just clipped the rear tire. But now being full time, because he was reserve last race, filling in for Ads, who has dropped out and dropped to the reserve line due to inconsistency, maybe from or due to inconsistency not being able to race. And Felix One was able to join, but he just wants to go to the back in all fairness for not being on time, so good job to him. So we'll have two fast guys towards the back, Felix and Cool Guy. P19 and P18 already decided. So yeah, Einapple now being full time, he's gonna want to definitely prove himself, see if he can have a comeback podium in this race, show his full potential. Definitely won't be good enough with P12. He'll want to be up there in the top 5 at least. We got who's on track right now. I'm looking people on the lap towards the front. I think Atom Kev's on the lap, our provisional pole sitter. He's currently P1 coming through turn 8. Very cautious through turn 8 is the word I was looking for in my head. And he comes through the final corner of sector 2. He's half a tenth down, so he's going to want to find a bit more pace in the final sector. Kev and the Red Bull, from what I've known in pre-season, he was pretty quick around here, competing for the podium and the win as he dives into the pit, so he will not be improving on that lap time. Maybe it was a bit too much down on his time. And we have Pantera now. I don't know if he's on a competitive lap. He's upshifting a lot. I don't think he is. I don't know, we'll have a look. Yeah, he's 2 seconds down, so he's currently not on a competitive hot lap. We've then got the next one is Big Boy. He's a second down actually, so it won't be him. Next is Vit in P14 for the Red Bull. He hasn't had the best of luck recently. He's had 2 DNFs in the start of his campaign in Div 1. He's going to want to at least score some points this race, maybe. Stay out of incidents at least and finish. But he'll definitely want some points in the next couple rounds, just build that confidence up. And I reckon with a clean race, anything is possible, as we saw definitely in Imola with, I think, 10 or even maybe 11 DNFs. And was that Nux. Nux is off the track coming up to turn 13, so he's got spun around, which the left-hander of turn 12 could definitely do if you don't have the right setup and you're maybe using a bit too much ERS. The downforce at the rear just goes and you the rear steps out from you. And that's P6 for Vit as we're on board talking about Nux. But yeah, that turn 12 definitely easy to spin if you're not careful. It's flat mainly, or flat usually, but definitely easy to spin if you're on too much rear wing on your setup. But we got Jays in P2. He's gonna want to improve by about a tenth if he wants to go for provisional pole right now. Maybe 2/10 if he wants to be safe, at least. He's coming to the end of sector 2 now. Let's see his split. He goes a bit wide. Luckily, doesn't invalidate, but he does spin. As I was just talking, turn 12 very easy to spin, just carrying too much downforce on the rear compared to the front, and just lose it. So he's gonna maybe go for another quick one, as we got 12 seconds left in the session, as there's just a bunch of yellow flags just covering that. We've got Pantera now for a fastest 16.2. He moves to provisional pole. Will Jays go across the line? I don't think he will. That's the end of the session. Jays barely losing out to the checkered flag there. Kev is not on a flying lap. He won't be able to improve. Pantera currently P1, followed by Kev, Jays, Nux who's finished. Kavudi not on a fast lap. He's in P5, racing up to, I think he's next out of the top guys. Oh, he's the next fastest on a lap right now. Let's see what he can do. He's currently 5/10 off pole, so let's see his sector split through sector 2. Coming out of the corner, just invalidates, even though he's 2/10 up, so that would have put him maybe above Kavudi and Nux, but that hasn't. Freestylers in the pit, Vit P8, Vertex. Let's see what he can do. He's not on an invalidated lap time. And he's in P9. How much more can he improve on those soft compound tires? Just runs out of ERS as most people do before the line. That's 1:16.9. That's good enough to stay in P9. But just extend that gap to the people behind Iron Apple. It was the last one, but he's currently lost his front wing after a spin and on an invalidated lap time anyway. So that is qualifying for Portugal, and this is your grid then for the race. Pantera on pole after an amazing lap, his first pole position of the season. Then Asim Kev on second. Yeah, he definitely will be. Probably a big relief, showing that he can finally have the pace to get that pole position. So he's on pole. Asim Kev follows in behind. Jays and Nux on the second row. Kavudi racing up to the reserve in the McLaren P6. Freestyler and Vit P7 and 8. Vit finally making that top 10. Maybe showing some pace. This could be the time he finally gets points and maybe even a finish. I hope that isn't jinxing him. Then we have Vertex and Magnum rounding off the top 10. On the 6th row of the grid we've got Big Boy and Gabri, and we'll get the rest of the positions for you when the results come through in case of any penalties that weren't picked up by us. So we've got Pantera, Kev, Jays, Nux, Kavudi racing up to Freestyler, Vit, Vertex, Magnum, Big Boy and Gabri. Then we were up to Iron Apple and the Williams. Definitely not true showing of his pace down in P13. We've got Charlie then and Havina in 14th and 15th. BWS in the second McLaren. He's also a reserve. Haven't seen his name before the season. Then Ash P17, and then Felix, who joined halfway through the session, retiring just to make sure. Well, because he joined late, he wanted to start at the back. And then Cool Guy, who got disqualified for going the wrong way after spinning. That is your grid, and the race is going to be starting shortly. Very good session. Very, I would say, uneventful. It was very clean, and a bit of drama at the top. With Jays just losing it, probably going to go pole, and just lost it through turn 12, the back end. That's probably the only real eventful thing that happened in that session.
Yeah. And just looking at the weather at the track as well, it's quite cloudy at the moment, so there actually might be a chance of a wet race perhaps on the cards as it progresses.
That would definitely be interesting. We haven't had rain yet this season.
Yeah, it'll definitely throw a lot of strategies out, and
definitely, especially those ones that maybe could have gone a bit faster on the medium compounds that you know, if the rain does come early on, maybe the soft compound tyre runners benefit from that. So if anyone in the top 10 started on the mediums, which I didn't actually pick up on, maybe...
I think there was only 2 that I saw that were on the medium tyres in the top 10.
Yeah, so if there is any rain and it were to come very early, very big shame probably for them, because they could have gone faster on soft compound tires, but I'm gonna maybe try get some confirmation on the weather and get that to you guys, see if there will be rain later in the race. As we're just waiting for the ready up announcement as usual. Vertex in the Discord says cloudy with no threat of rain, so well, currently, as it says, we never know how predictable it can be, or how trustworthy it can be, but it's saying no threat of rain, so I would say there probably isn't going to be any rain, just some light cloud.
Just as I was getting my hopes up for a very interesting race.
I reckon it'll be interesting nonetheless. I don't think we've had a dull race in the first two rounds of the season, and then Jay says it just goes to light cloud towards the end, so I definitely would be interesting either way. There'll definitely be quite a few incidents, towards the start of the Grand Prix as everyone's packed up, you know, desync and everything can cause mayhem towards the back. So, I mean, hopefully there isn't any proper crashes that result in DNFs, because that'd be very unfortunate, especially for those racing. You don't want a DNF first corner after all this practice you probably do all week. But
yeah, especially for like Pantera having got his first pole position, he'd actually ran into the side of and pretty much had his race done.
yeah, definitely. He doesn't want that happening. He doesn't want anyone starting on the outside as P1, so unless he comes to cover that off, if someone gets a better start behind him, very easy for someone to just go down the inside. As Magnum joins back, I think he might have disconnected earlier. Didn't see that, but we'll have a look as Pantera leads us away for the formation lap in the Haas. That yellow helmet, Senna colours, it seems like yellow and green there, so maybe his idol? Never know. Then Asimkev, number 19 in the Red Bull behind him, showing very consistent top fives at the start of this campaign. Then we have Jays, who had a very good race. Last race in Imola, came P3, was P2 for most of it after the collisions. And that's Kev off the track. He just takes out a few of the sponsor boards there, but no damage, and oh well, there wouldn't be any damage to the formation lap, but hasn't really spun or anything to overheat the tyres, so lucky for him. Then Nux in the Alpine, he's in P6 in the championship, so he's going to want to maybe get a podium here, just boost that ahead of Felix. These top guys definitely want to make the most of Felix and Cool Guy, their championship contenders, who are down towards the back of the grid right now, as the leaders are coming up to their grid positions, and the last guys are just coming around the final corner now. Predicted stop strategy, it's 2 stop both ways, one including 2 mediums and one including 2 softs. Be interesting to see if anyone goes for a 1 stop, because I've definitely done it. I've done a soft to medium around here. It is pretty hard to do, but it is possible, so 1 stop I would say definitely is on the cards, whether that incorporates the hards or not. But we're gonna go to 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights, and we are underway. We're going to have a look on board. It seems like Nux had an amazing getaway. He's already up to P2 from starting P4. Looking back from Pantera's POV, Kev and Nux going side by side into turn 3 now, the first proper braking zone. There's an AlphaTauri behind of Havina, who may have got collected. Nux on the outside of Atom Kev. Atom Kev just sets in front, but Nux is maybe going to go for the move around the outside. He cuts back in to do the old the old over and under. He doesn't get the exit though, and Kev stays ahead. Almost a second gap already to Pantera in front. Nux settles in behind. Freestyle is up to P4. Jays has dropped down all the way to P6, so not a great start for him, losing 3 positions. Vertex P7, Magnum Galato in P8. There's Charlie and Kavudi switching positions towards the back of the grid. We've got 3 cars kind of off the pack, maybe just incidents between them, but it doesn't seem like anyone's got any damage. No one's going too slowly. And towards the end of the first lap, it's just under a second for Pantera to Kev. Then we have Nux behind in P3 after almost making the move on Kev, just getting out broken by Kev. And he settles for P3 after getting what was an amazing start, but Freestyler in the Haas P4 now, so 2 Haas's inside the top 5. Very good from him. Freestyler runs wide, so I wouldn't be surprised if that is a warning for him. One of the other factors we forgot to mention that could go to this is penalties. Very easy to corner cut, and there's actually a collision behind Kavudi. Ghosted it, and I think he just came back onto the track. He's gone an incident, and we have Gabri in the pits. He had to change his front wing. So Gabri, there obviously was contact, and he did have damage. Not enough damage to really result in too much time loss, but he wanted to come in nonetheless. Adam Gev has shredded that gap half a second now to Pantera. He actually loses a bit on exit there, up to 7/10. Then we have Nux following behind. He's within another half second of Atom Kev and Freestyler after an amazing start. P4, I just looked back, racing up to almost lost it through turn 13 there, now into turn 15, the end of lap 2. DRS is now going to be enabled, and Kev has the fastest lap of the race, 19.6, sorry. And Gabri lost at turn 8. He's not having a great start to his Div 1 career, reserving for that Ferrari team, and he's about 2 sectors behind the rest of the field. But we have a very, very interesting start. Jay's the main loser out of the top 5, and Kavuda's already got a 3-second penalty. He's down in 18th after a collision. I don't know who with, but I did believe I saw him spin on the minimap. Yeah, so back to Jay's. He just didn't seem to get the launch that he wanted. And we've got another person spun at turn 8. It's Vit. Vit has spun towards turn 8 in the McLaren, and after starting P8 and what I thought maybe would have been great hopes, and he spins again.
Spun again.
So just hot tyres there. And that's very unlucky. Someone that I thought maybe he could have gotten points today. And he probably still could if there's a safety car, but those tyres are dead. He's going to want to pit at the end of the lap. And Felix has retired. Felix was retired at, on the end of turn 15. It looks like by skid marks he's just lost it and overcorrected and gone straight into the barrier. So one of the championship contenders right now is already out of the race. I'm gonna see if I can find out what happened. He'll probably put it in the chat as we do see Vic come into the pit as I thought. I don't know what's happened there. It's very... I've never seen that before, I don't think. And Felix just leaves the session, yeah. So, already out. P18, gonna be P19. I've never seen that happen before. I've never seen someone really overcorrect, and by the skid marks, it seems like he just started to lose it and then spun into the barrier, but he was head on, so I don't know if he did a full rotation before going into the barrier, if he just went straight in, maybe locked the tyres before being able to turn.
Yeah, judging by the skid marks, didn't look as though they were
Yeah, we'll get on board from Pantera here, just see if those skid marks are still there. Yeah, it just seems like he went straight on. So my best guess would be overcorrection, maybe starting to lose the back end, going through the right, just overcorrected left, and probably lock the brakes before going into the barrier so you can slow it down.
Yeah. Or the worst thing that anyone wants to have, maybe their wheel or controller disconnected without warning, and then...
Yeah, definitely, that could have happened as well, maybe. But actually, as we're seeing, Pantera has lost a couple positions to Kev on the main straight with DRS, and almost losing it to Nux through the first sequence of braking zones of turn 3, 4. But Kev has a 3-second penalty from multiple warnings, so that's going to throw it into the works. He's going to want a 3-second gap to pull it out, obviously, by the end of the race if he wants to win. But Pantera, can he maybe come back at Kev in the DRS at the end of the lap, or will Nux be close enough to maybe take P2 from Pantera? He looks a bit squirrely through turn 12 there, where we've already seen multiple people spin, mainly on board with Jays when that happened. But Pantera, he's 7 tenths behind Kev going onto this main straight now. Let's see what he can do. Kev, he doesn't want to break the toe right now. He's just going to go straight, and it doesn't look like he's going to be close enough. He's gaining, but not enough. Maybe he can do something going down to turn 5 in the hairpin. Yeah, he seems a bit closer now, obviously, with that DRS. Can he do something up the hill if he gets a good exit? It looked like Kev just being there. Will Nux be able to do anything from behind? No, they stay 1, 2, 3 as they were before the previous lap. Racing up to P4, passing Freestyler, who's maybe lost a bit of pace over the last couple of laps, and he's currently under threat from Jay's behind. 5 tenths is that gap between 5th and 6th. Charlie sets the fastest lap on soft compound tyres. I think he's coming to the pit, so that's a 19.4. It's the new fastest lap of the race. He will not get that extra point, obviously, as he's outside the top 10. But looking back, can Pantera come back this lap? He's even further behind than what he was. Charlie picks up a 3-second there. Pantera, he's just lost a bit. Maybe he's struggling for tyre wear. Maybe he needs to pit in the next couple laps. Maybe that's what's happening. But Nux in the prime position right now, and there's another collision behind. Kavudi spins again, it seems like. But will Nux be able to do anything? No, they all just stay where they are, very disciplined. About 5 tenths in between all of them, or like the gap between Pantera and Kev and Pantera and Nux, both 5 tenths, so seconds separating the top 3 now. Very close indeed, as they've all just got DRS and going to be a massive DRS train. Nux almost going into the back of Pantera there, with the overspeed from DRS maybe outbraking a bit than what he should have. But coming through turn 8 now, Kavudi retires. Oh, he's in the pit, so there was not another collision, but that's a double DNF and 19th and 18th finish for the Aston Martin boys. And Cool Guy has got another disqualification for going the wrong way. So maybe he now goes to P19, and that's an 18th and 17th for the Aston Martin boys. 2 non-points finishes from them, I should say, in case someone else. But that's 2 disqualifications, maybe just doing the exact same thing. Just going off track.
It seems as though this track's just not quite as forgiving as what some other tracks are.
Definitely, and maybe depending where it was on the infield, because it seems pretty, especially through that turn 7 and 8, the infield kind of will connect, so you can easily cut it. So maybe the track thought he was on the exit of turn 8, so going backwards, trying to rejoin onto turn 7. Maybe it thought he was just going backwards and going to disrupt it. So very unlucky from Cool Guy. That's another disqualification in this round. So he'll obviously have to send in evidence to see what exactly happened. I don't think he meant it.
I think it was just an accident was all.
Definitely. But in the meantime, Jays has got ahead of freestyle and is starting his comeback after not a great start. If you haven't seen the start of the stream, he dropped down from P3 all the